You know the feeling. Sunday night arrives and somewhere in the back of your mind a quiet dread settles in. Not because something bad is about to happen, because nothing is, because tomorrow will look exactly like last Monday, and the Monday before that, and the one before that. You will wake up at roughly the same time, move through roughly the same sequence of events, have roughly the same conversations, feel roughly the same way at roughly the same point in the day. And sometime around Wednesday you will have a brief, uncomfortable moment of clarity, a flash of something that sounds like this. Is this it? Is this what the next 10 years look like? And then something interrupts you. A notification, a task, a reason to stop thinking about it. And the week continues. If that description felt too specific to be accidental, it was not accidental, because what I just described is the most common psychological experience of our generation. And it has a name. Not burnout, not depression, not laziness. The repeat. A life that keeps playing the same episode over and over. Not because nothing is possible, but because something invisible keeps pressing the same button at the same moment. And today I am going to show you exactly where that button is. Because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And once you cannot unsee it, the repeat ends. Here's the first thing most people get wrong about a life on repeat. They think the problem is the routine, so they change the routine. New gym, new diet, new morning schedule, new city sometimes. And for a few weeks it works. It feels like movement. It feels like change. But then, slowly, inevitably, the new routine starts to feel like the old routine. The new city starts to feel like the old city. And the repeat resumes, just with different scenery. Because the routine was never the problem. The routine is just the symptom. The problem lives somewhere deeper, somewhere most people never look. Let me tell you about a man named Daniel, 34 years old. Had moved cities twice in 3 years looking for the feeling that things were different. Changed jobs, changed relationships, changed everything external he could think of to change, and kept arriving at the same place. Not geographically, emotionally. The same low-level dissatisfaction. The same sense that life was slightly less than it should be. The same Sunday dread. And it was not until Daniel sat with someone who asked him the right question that everything shifted. The question was this: what do you do at the exact moment you feel the urge to do something different? Not what do you want to do differently? Not what are your goals? What do you do at the exact moment the urge appears? Daniel thought about it. Really thought about it. And then he said something that surprised even himself. I close it. Whatever it is. If the urge is to write something, I close the notebook. If the urge is to make a call, I put the phone down. If the urge is to start something, I tell myself I will do it tomorrow. Therefore, the repeat was not happening because Daniel lacked ambition. He had enormous ambition. The repeat was happening because at the exact moment the possibility of something different appeared. He made one specific invisible decision. He chose the familiar over the unknown. Every single time. Not dramatically, not consciously, in a fraction of a second. In a moment so small he had never even noticed it was a decision. This is what I call the same door. Your life is not on repeat because the same things keep happening to you. It is on repeat because every single day, at multiple moments throughout the day, you walk up to a door that leads somewhere different, and you choose the door you already know. Not the scary door, not the difficult door, just the familiar one, the one that feels like safety, the one that feels like you. And every time you choose it, you reinforce the route. You make the familiar path smoother, the unfamiliar path more overgrown. Therefore, the repeat gets easier to stay in. Therefore, breaking out of it gets harder. Therefore, years pass, and the only thing that has genuinely changed is the number that comes after your name when someone asks how old you are. But here is the part that nobody explains properly, and this is the part that actually matters. The reason you keep choosing the same door is not weakness. It is not lack of desire. It is not that you do not want different badly enough. The reason you keep choosing the same door is that your brain has built an identity around the life you are already living. And the brain will protect that identity with everything it has. Even when the identity is painful. Even when the identity is insufficient. Even when every conscious part of you knows it is not enough. Because here is what your brain actually fears. Not failure, not difficulty. The unknown version of you that would exist on the other side of the unfamiliar door. Your brain does not know that person, cannot predict them, cannot control them. And the brain's deepest drive is not happiness, it is predictability. Therefore, it keeps you in the repeat. not to hurt you, to protect the only version of you it knows how to be. A woman named Maya told me once that she had spent 4 years knowing exactly what she needed to do to change her life. She was not confused about the direction. She was not lacking resources. She knew, in precise detail. And she did not do it. Not because she was lazy, because every time she approached the moment of doing it, something in her said, "This is not who you are. You are the person who stays safe. You are the person who plays it sensible. You are the person who waits until the time is right." And she listened, 4 years in a row, until the day she asked herself a question she had never asked before. Who told me that was who I am? Not a memory, not a person, just a pattern that had repeated so many times it had started to feel like a fact. But it was not a fact. It was a habit. And habits, unlike facts, can be changed. So she changed one thing, not everything, one thing. The next time she felt the urge to do something different and her brain said, "This is not who you are," she did it anyway. Small. Almost embarrassingly small. She sent one email she had been drafting for 6 months. One email. Her brain said, "This is not you." She sent it anyway. And nothing catastrophic happened. The world did not end. The worst-case scenario she had been quietly assuming did not arrive. What arrived instead was a reply. And then another decision. And then another door. And the pattern broke. Not because she transformed overnight, because she caught the moment. The specific, invisible, fraction of a second moment where the same door gets chosen. And she chose differently. Once, and then again, until the unfamiliar door started to feel like a door she knew, until the new version of herself started to feel like herself, until the repeat ended. Not with a dramatic life overhaul, with one decision made differently at the exact moment it had always been made the same way. So here is what I want you to do. After this video ends, not a plan, not a list of goals, one question. What is the urge you keep closing? Not the grand ambition. The small daily urge that appears and disappears within seconds because something familiar interrupts it. Find that urge, and the next time it appears, do not close it. Do not tell yourself tomorrow. Do not wait until you feel ready. Do the smallest possible version of it right now. Not because it will change your life immediately, because it will show your brain a version of you it has never seen before. And once your brain sees that version, even briefly, something shifts. The identity begins to update. The door begins to look different. The repeat begins to break. Not with a dramatic decision, with a tiny one made at the right moment. The moment you have been walking past every single day. It is there tomorrow and the day after. Every single time you feel the urge and reach for the familiar. That is the moment. Choose differently. Just once. Then again. Then again. If this described something you have been feeling for longer than you want to admit, subscribe right now. Because we go into the specific, uncomfortable, nobody else will say it places where real change actually begins. Comment the word door if this landed for you today. Because the people who see the door are already thinking differently from the people still wondering why nothing changes. Your life was never stuck. You were. And the moment you understand why, the repeat ends.